This is part A. This is part A of the KhoodeelaarTV television channel being broadcast on the internet under the banner of the Baby Angel Geronimo Manifesto editions on Sunday, the 12th of May, 2024. And the Sunday Times magazine has got a feature featuring Nelson Mandela's oldest daughter, Makaziwe, and his granddaughter, Tukwini, and a picture of Nelson Mandela in 2003 with his elder daughter. Relative values. This being the Sunday Times, and this being about Nelson Mandela, it is absolutely certain that it would not challenge racism, and it's based on the book by Makaziwe Mandela, Mandela in Honor of an Extraordinary Life. And this is a stupid last paragraph. It says, I admire my mom and how she has navigated the complications of being Nelson Mandela's daughter, because my grandfather was a god in people's eyes. Astaghfirullah. If the contents of Nelson Mandela's speech televised from the South Africa House, which is on one side of the Trafalgar Square in London, are any guide that Nelson Mandela was brain dead, nothing he said constituted anything special whatsoever. It didn't challenge apartheid, it didn't challenge racism, and it didn't challenge anything. So my first impression of this piece, relative value, is absolutely correct. How outrageous to say that Mandela was a god in people's eyes. Partner. He was nothing, anything remotely like divinity, like a deity. And there is a long promotion piece for Mark Zuckerberg, $173 billion midlife crisis. Again, this being the Sunday Times magazine, it is absolutely not going to contain anything truthful. The spiel, corrupt to the core, corrupt from A to Z. And then, of course, there is this ultimate obscenity. Tracy Emin, now 60, tells her old friend Lynn Barber about quitting booze. coming back from cancer, life with a stoma, and building a property empire. Obscenity after obscenity after obscenity. And then there is another obscenity. It's about a man who has been unmasked as a rapist. They say I'm a beast with 16 aliases and a fake accent. I'll prove that wrong. He looks like an Asian, but I could be wrong from that. And then the obscenity, absolute sleazeball, racist criminal, David Cameron. There is a long spiel on Cameron, for fuck's sake. And it's a promotion accompanied with a gushing piece by Christina Lamb. Fuck her. Fucking liars. Liars and liars and liars. Now on Saturday, the Times magazine carried a disclosure about the racist liar Alistair Stewart. This criminal, Alistair Stewart, was exposed as a racist that he had been all along. And that exposure of him as a racist forced his exit from the ITB. Now the Sunday Times news on front page, Haque asked Lord Chancellor for favour over husband's trial. Now Haque is an evil, racist, hate inciter. The former, now the word justice is of course within quotation marks. There is no justice in any part of the UK state. So the Sunday Times doesn't use the quotation marks, but I am saying as a disclaimer that they use the quotation of this paragraph by Caroline Wheeler and Gabrielle Pogrand should be deemed to have a quotation around the word justice. So the former Justice Secretary, who is Robert Buckland, has accused Natalie Elphicke of asking him to interfere in the sexual assault trial of her ex-husband. These people are the thickest, the most corrupt, grossest of the gross, and the corruptest, most corrupt. Natalie Elphicke succeeded her crooked, racist, conservative ex-husband, Charles Elphicke, as MP for the Dover area in Kent, in England. But Charles Elphicke was not tried for racism, of course not. He was tried for the rape and sexual abuse of women. Robert Buckland accused Elphicke, that is Natalie Elphicke, of wanting him, that is Buckland, to speak to the judge on the eve of Charles Elphicke's trial 4 years ago. An intervention, he said, was completely inappropriate. In a separate meeting with Mark Spencer, the former chief whip of the Conservatives in the House of Commons, after her husband was convicted, Natalie Elphicke is said to have asked for his prison conditions to be improved. Elphicke, who took over the Dover seat from her husband at the time, defected from the Conservatives to Labour last week. She met Buckland before the July 2020 trial to object to what she felt was her husband's unfair treatment. Can you believe it? She was accusing the already corrupt system of being unfair to a rapist. She urged him, Buckland that is, to ask the judiciary to move his trial from Southwark Crown Court in central London. According to witnesses, she said she believed the trial would be unreasonably high profile as it was the first to be held after the first COVID-19 lockdown. And she feared the senior judge presiding over the case would throw the book at him. Buckland, who was Justice Secretary, again the word justice should be deemed as being used with quotation marks, and Lord Chancellor, this is a post title that goes back hundreds of years, was responsible for the judiciary, refused to entertain her requests, telling aides it was a constitutional outrage. Too right. He confirmed the meeting last night, saying she was told in no uncertain terms. It would have been completely inappropriate to speak to the judge about the trial at all. Before the meeting, Buckland had been assured by Spencer that Elphick did not wish to discuss her husband's case. A key constitutional doctrine is that there should be a separation of powers between the institutions of state, including parliament and the judiciary. That's a myth, of course. A Labour Party spokeswoman said, Natalie Elphick totally rejects that characterization of the meeting. If Robert Buckland had any genuine concerns about the meeting, then he should have raised them at the time rather than making claims to the newspapers. Now, Natalie has chosen to join the Labour Party. Elphick was convicted of 3 counts of sexual assault against 2 women, one of whom he chased around his home while chanting, "I'm a naughty Tory." He was given a 2-year jail sentence. Before his sentencing, his wife wrote to Dame Catherine Thirlwall, the senior presiding judge for England and Wales, urging Thirlwall to intervene to stop the publication of character references friends had submitted on his behalf. She asked several Tory MPs to do the same. The judiciary responded saying her request was improper and disregarded the separation of powers, prompting an investigation by the Parliamentary Standards Commissioner. Now that goes on to page 2. Elphick was suspended from Commons for 1 day. However, Elphick's lobbying went further still. Sources said this weekend. The former solicitor, who succeeded her husband as MP for Dover, after a meeting that was held behind closed doors, allegedly sought to meet Buckland again to ask him to request better treatment in prison. So the full story about Elphick and her criminality is printed on pages 2 and 6 and 7. She had an air of entitlement. It shocked everyone there. That is the air of entitlement piece, 2-page spread on the Sunday Times about Elphick. And on page 9 of the Sunday Times, which is a piece directly accusing George Galloway of being a liar. Galloway lied to millions online that Mrs. Zelensky blew $1 million on jewelry. That is the Sunday Times. Galloway lied to millions. So it has emerged that the new Workers' Party MP spread rumors online about Olena Zelenska. Meanwhile, in his Rochdale constituency, residents have barely seen him since election day. He's a liar, he's a cheat, and he stole money and never declared the money he received in the post that came while he was having a constituency office in the Club Row in Bethnal Green. As we have said repeatedly, Galloway was witnessed dozens of times, if not hundreds of times, as opening the envelope sent to a Club Row office of the Western Party. And as a practice pocketer of the money, he took the check contained in the post and put the check serially checked in his pocket. He never accounted for this. Now, this item in the Sunday Times will it be followed by Delaware suing the Sunday Times? No, certainly not. Delaware lied to millions online that Mr. Zelensky blew $1 million on Germany. It's a piece about Delaware by Will Lloyd, Hannah Al-Usman, and Venetia Mengis. At the end of September last year, that is 2023, a woman was said to have entered the Cartier mansion on New York's Fifth Avenue, spent $1.1 million on jewelry, and then had a sales intern with whom she had argued fired. The woman, it was claimed, was the Ukrainian First Lady, Olena Zelenska. Her New York spree came as her husband, President Zelensky, pleaded to the US Congress for continued support for Ukraine's war against Russia, and as thousands of Ukrainian soldiers fought and died on battlefields across the country. George Galloway, the 69-year-old leader of the Workers' Party of Britain, told millions of his followers in a video posted across social media platforms that this was a Marie Antoinette moment. The wife of Zelensky spends $1 million on Cartier jewelry in New York City. Galloway declared on October the 5th, 2023, a Marie Antoinette moment that speaks volumes about her about them and the way that this is all going to end. The story was completely false. Olena Zelenska was in Canada on the day of her supposed shopping trip. The intern who made the claim was a beautician from St. Petersburg. But the claim made in a video uploaded to YouTube on September the 30th, one of many apocryphal stories of Ukrainian corruption that have circulated during the war, was boosted by Georgian and Russian Facebook accounts, as well as Kremlin-backed media such as Russia Today and Lenta.ru. Galloway was a presenter on Russia Today from 2013 to until 2022. In October, Galloway told viewers of Marts, the mother of all talk shows, his YouTube-hosted phone-in talk show, that his source for the story was the respected United States publication The Nation. The Nation, a monthly US political magazine founded in 1865, never ran a story about Olena Zelenska buying Cartier diamonds. The only publication called The Nation to run the story was a Nigerian daily newspaper based in Lagos and founded in 2006. This is not the first time Galloway, who returned to the Commons after winning the Rochdale by-election in February, has boosted dubious claims on his social media accounts. Across Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Patreon, TikTok, Bumble, and Instagram, Galloway has amassed nearly 2.5 million followers. More than 5,000 videos have been uploaded to his YouTube account. Since July 2013, the only members of the shadow cabinet with more followers on Twitter X than Galloway are Ed Miliband and Keir Starmer. Much of Galloway's output on social media takes the form of video clips from Mo Arts, mother of all talk shows. The phone-in show is live streamed on YouTube every Wednesday and Sunday evening. It was previously hosted by Radio Sputnik, a state-owned Russian broadcaster between 2019 to 2022. After the Russian invasion of Ukraine, both Russia Today and Sputnik were banned in the United Kingdom and in the EU. In a statement in May 2022, the EU said that Russia Today and Sputnik promoted a systematic information manipulation and disinformation by the Kremlin. YouTube blocked channels linked to RT and Sputnik across Europe. Galloway continued to broadcast Mowats from his London studio, with all the links to Sputnik removed from the show's branding, and he has continued to promote false claims. On May the 8th, he told a caller that a Russian nuclear strike on British targets, including in London, would be entirely lawful. So that the whole more than half of this page 9, is given to Galloway's lies. We shall be continuing to update on this in due course. And the promotion piece for another promotion piece for the e-bill self-seeker, self-server, Esther Ranson. And there is a piece about the BBC reducing Newsnight to half an hour with a quotation from Michael Crick, who is condemning the BBC's decision. And there is an editorial which says that voters will soon tire of stunts like Elphick's defection. And Camilla Long says that twisting the truth doesn't kill a career, it ignites it. She should know. And there is a picture on front page of the Sunday Times of Greta Thunberg being arrested in Sweden against the Eurovision contest allowing the genocidal Zionist state of Israel's participant. We shall be talking more about all of these issues and others in later editions. This has been 34 minutes and is ending at 8:06 hours GMT on Sunday, the 12th of May 2024.